Okay, let me just. Sorry, I'm in a sundress that doesn't really have a bra, but if I shift myself well enough, it just might work as one. So, anyway, hey everybody, welcome back to. Are you off, dear? All right, I love you. Have a good snooze. Um, let me just pop out the chat. Well, let me give it a second, and I'll get my cards ready, and then I'll pop out the participants. So if you want me to say hi, please make sure you say hi in chat. Say hello to everybody. Hi, Mary. How are you, sweetheart? Okay. Woo. Okay, those cards really want to be heard tonight because they just came apart even with the elastic on them. So, yeah. Let's see if my hands are up to the cards tonight. All right, let's. So my treats, mytreats.com sent me a box of treats from Thailand, and Howie and I opened them on camera. Let me just do this. So Thailand has some pretty strange treats. So let me pop out the participants now and say hello to, say hello to, what the heck is that? Barefoot Chickens. Hi, Seashell. I heard you talking about drumming. Drums are something very special. They resonate in my soul. I love drums. Angela M. Barefoot Chickens. Seashell Serve. Catherine Shiraz. Say Shiraz. Just kidding. Celeste. Jennifer Jacks. Kathy Ponder. Kathleen Elijah. KB Canner. Linda Bob. Lori M. Mary Lindsay. Pam EPS. Sally Starnes, Stacy Robbins, Tigger Bouncin, Tina Elliott, and Tony Nicole. All right, let's go back to the chat. Pop out the live chat. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? So Howie and I opened this box from mytreats.com. It's a company that sends snack boxes to you once a month from around the world, kind of like a snack box of the month, but they're snacks of the world. And Howie and I gave our unabashed. Howie did it with me because there's just some things that I'm not sure I'll try. But I tried absolutely everything. I really did. Hi, Angela. I'm Katrina, babe. Hey, how are you? The Tahitian drums are enticing. I love any kind of tribal drumming. I really do. Any kind of tribal drumming. Minnesota farmer's wife. Jackie Moppet. Thanks for saying hi. I always watch but never comment. Well, that's if you don't comment, we don't know you're there. You know what I mean? So if you at least say hi in the beginning, then I can shout you out and you don't have to talk or anything after that unless you want to. Things are going okay. Maybe. I did we did the live making of laundry soap. And I had such a hard time with that block of washing soda that had melted into a block. And some people were saying, well, use the cheese grater. And some people said, I use a hacksaw. But one person, someone said use a cheese grater, and this other person made a comment. Now I really love it when people make negative comments about 2 or 3 days after a video so that they don't think I'm going to see them. But he basically said, and he has been uninvited from participating in my channel, but he said, well, she obviously doesn't know chemistry, because if you know, it's this type of chemical, and if you put it in the oven and warm it up or heat it up, it will crumble again. But then she never was the sharper. Oh, if she would know to do this and it would crumble again. But then she's not always been the sharpest tool in the shed. So folks, here was my answer, and this is the growth you've been seeing for years now. I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but at least I'm a useful tool. And you could have, I said, you know, you had 2 ways you could have handled this. You could have said, you know, Mrs. V, if you put that in the oven and heat it up, it will crumble for you. But he had to turn it into an insult, like I'm stupid or I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I said, you had the opportunity to be helpful and offer a solution when all you did was insult. People who have the opportunity to help but are insulting instead deserve our prayers. It says something about that person because he did give me a solution, which I'm going to try, but he was very derisive and mean about it. And I said, you know, thanks for the information. So even a week ago, or no, even a year ago, that would have just left me frothing. But all I am is sad for the person who could have been the hero of the moment, but chose to be a jackass instead. It's all about choices, isn't it? He chose how to respond, and I chose how to respond back. Said you could have, you know, you had the opportunity to be the good guy and you couldn't take it, right? Hi, Sarah. Bev, please pray for my doggy Luther. He had a bowel blockage surgery on Tuesday and is still in hospital because he won't eat. He will, honey. He will. He's just in a strange place, in pain, and frightened. Okay? He will eat when he starts to feel safe again. Okay? But of course we'll say prayers. Annette Gillen? How do you pronounce that, Sarah? Or how do you pronounce that, Annette? Absolutely. Prayers for your dog. All good dogs have their own reward. And I'm pretty sure, you know. But anyway, you're welcome, sweetheart. So, and you got the video today of, the roast beef dinner. And then today you got the leftovers. But I cannot give you the video of the soup in our half-acre homestead because I made a mistake. I cooked those bones overnight in home canned vegetable broth. And I think I burnt the vegetable broth somehow because it came out tasting very bitter. And so Gracie got the bones and the rest was disposed of. So there is no meal 4 on the roast. And that's all because I screwed it up. Gian. Castellanos Gian. It's very Italian sounding, eh? Take some food that he will eat from home to him to the vet's office and you give it to him. That's a good idea, Linda. That's a really good idea. So suffice it to say that tomorrow you're going to get on our half acre homestead, you're going to get my treatsfromtheworld.com, my treats.com box preview. And we really are looking forward to the next one. Who would have thought that that food from another part of the world would taste so different, even when it looks normal to us, right? That's a great, hi Karen, how are you, darling? Kathy Ponder. So anyway, yeah. Hi, Lisa. How are you, darling? Now, there's a lot of Lisas, so I'm going to say your name, Lisa Allen. How much water did you start with to make soup or soap? Okay, the soap. There's a video coming out on our half acre homestead on Saturday. But the soap, you can use between 3 and 5 gallons of water for that recipe. I used about 3.5 gallons. And it is completely gelled. Howie put the bucket on top of the dryer for me so that I could use it when I need it. Somebody heard us talking about a puppy dog. Let's hope I can get this back. Hi, BB. Did you like your shrimp cookie? We wouldn't give it to you because we thought it'd make you sick. Mommy baby. Just checking. Now, I'm not going to scratch you too much because I don't have any sleeves for you to dig your nails in, even though we clipped your nails yesterday. Okay. Because you're going to dig your nails into me. Does you want a treat? She gets down so she doesn't have to say please. You're a good girl. All right, go lay down now. So, the basic recipe for the soap, and it is a very simple recipe, is 3.5 gallons to 4 gallons of hot water, a grated bar of laundry soap. You can use Ivory, but Sunlight, Fells Naphtha, and there's a couple others out there that even if you live in Canada and you shop at No Frills, you can find them. But I just use my homemade soap. I like the idea that my clothes are going to smell like cedar. It kind of keeps the bugs away, doesn't it? So you have 3.5 gallons of hot water, 3.5 to 4 gallons of hot water, 1 cup of washing soda, a 1/2 cup of borax, and 1 bar of shaved soap. And you mix the shaved soap like I did in a bowl with boiling water and stir it till it dissolves. Zote. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Well, thank you. It's a sundress, but I'm not really going to stand up and show it off just because it's not very flattering to me, but it's comfortable. It's comfortable. And I put it on because it was much nicer looking than my nightshirt to do the other video in. So yeah, that's it. And I'm going back to, I mean, this person went so far as to make several comments on my video. And why, this is my thing. Remember me talking about filtering responses through love? Shoot, I didn't share this. If I buffer for a second, my apologies. I've got to share this. Hang on. I'm going to buffer again. Give me a second. There, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh. Hi, Angie Mac. I think I got a hair on my eyelash. So remember me talking about, filtering responses through love? And how I said this guy could have... Hang on a second. Now I gotta... There we go. This guy had the opportunity to share information, and share information he did. But it was the way he shared it. It definitely was to make himself look and feel more superior than me. If it takes that, For you, if you have to insult somebody's intelligence, well, okay, I insult Trudeau, moron. Sorry, can't help that. But if you have to, just take an ordinary everyday person's video or whatever, what they're trying to help people save money, share information, all these things, and you make it an insult, then what kind of, it boggles the mind that people, oh yeah, I blocked them. They don't call it blocking anymore on YouTube. They say, hide this person from your channel. Or you know what I mean? Well, I told him I'd pray for him because, not everybody, maybe he's bitter. Maybe he's bitter about, nobody listening to him in the past. Maybe all this stuff that's coming out now, he always knew, and he's starting to feel like he should have got his own YouTube channel. I don't know. But calling him names isn't going to help either, right? So we, need to pray for them because it could have been so different. He could have said, Mrs. V, if you put that in the oven and heat it up to this, and this, there's a chemical in it that will burn off or whatever, and it'll crumble back down for you. I would have went, wow, really? Thank you so much. Instead, he had to turn it into an insult that I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. And I'm not hurt by that. I'm sad for them because they had the opportunity to meet new people and make friends. And instead, he alienated himself. You took a hammer to yours, eh? Another trick when making soap is to use a paint blender and electric drill. Works wonders for mixing in the bucket. Yeah, that's just me. I'd have to find my tools, which are scattered all over, Quebec and Ontario, because Howie uses them and then drops them at his butt. That he gained knowledge from someone else's experience and wisdom. True. We all gain knowledge. Nothing is new. All this knowledge has always been there. It's just new for some of us, right? But I've seen that too, mixing it in the with the paint stirrer thing. I remember cleaning out pumpkins with the one beater on my electric mixer and doing a video on it. And this gentleman emailed me and showed the video that they had this pumpkin carving or this pumpkin contest or whatever it was. But when all the pumpkins were sold, whatever didn't sell, I guess this Cubs or Guides or whatever it was, got the pumpkins, and they got to hollow them out and roast the seeds and sell them for, whatever it was they were raising money for. And he sent me the video of them doing it. He said, you literally saved us. I mean, we got so much more done and available because we didn't have to scrape the pumpkins out by hand. So it was really kind of cool. Hey, Laura Higgins, Vicky Dolberg, Phoebe Long. How's it going? I had a pretty sad day today, and it had nothing to do with, Mr. Frank, whatever his name was. That's, I've been on YouTube for close to 14 years next month. And if there's one thing I've learned, you can't take shit personally. You really can't take stuff personally from people unless it is an absolute personal attack. What about Vicky? What's going on? What did I miss? My husband and I are 46th anniversary on Saturday. Wow! Bravo! Congratulations. That's going to be wonderful. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a wonderful whatever it is you do. This year I learned something a long time ago in a 12-step program that expectations are resentments waiting to happen. Right? And I stopped having expectations on my kids putting together anything for us as their parents. And Howie and I are also 26 years, we were also 26 years sober from alcohol in the first week of June. And I have tried for years to hint to my kids it's going to be up to them to throw their parents a party when we get to a certain marriage date. But they have lives of their own. So rather than expect anybody to recognize our sobriety or recognize our long-standing marriage, you got to think about this. We met in 1990. We married in 1993, and we sobered up together. Well, sort of together in 1997. That would have killed most marriages, right? But instead of expecting people to remember, except for my mother-in-law and my daughter-in-law texted us that morning and said, happy anniversary. And my mother-in-law sent us a card with $50 in it, and we used that to go out to dinner. But rather than try and expect our children or anybody else to do anything for our anniversary, we just said, piss on it. Let's go out to dinner. And we went up the road, and it was a Monday, and the restaurant we normally eat at or would like to eat at when we want a decent, a nice dinner, something other than fries and burgers, was closed. So we ended up at a steakhouse, very excited. Our supper cost $200. There were some mistakes I made in ordering that's the reason. But the thing is we had this amazing steak dinner. We were so full, we brought food home and got another meal out of it. And we just couldn't have any dessert. We just couldn't. There was just no room. So my point is Howie and I were all we needed. All we needed all this time was each other. So it's okay if nobody recognizes us. Because I know why they don't recognize me, because I medicate with marijuana, and there's so many people in 12-step programs that goes, a drug's a drug. No, it's not. It's an herb. But if it's a drug for you, then I can understand your adherence to stay away from it. But it's never been a drug for me. It's only been medicine, right? I had the days back in the day where I had the choice. I could smoke weed or drink alcohol. Alcohol was reasonably easy to access. It was fairly cheap, and it was legal. And if I smoked pot while I was drinking alcohol, I had the same effect that Demerol when I just do the funky chicken and projectile vomit all over the place. So I made a choice. It was an easy choice to make. Alcohol was my drug of choice. Marijuana to me is just an herb. Hey, Marnie, how's it going? Cornstarch where bra is affecting your skin. Prayers for those in the Northwest Territories. Absolutely. My daughter left a Yellowknife last night and drove all night to escape the fires. Hi, Darlene. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. Our whole world's burning down, isn't it? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I feel really, really bad. I can't talk. I can't talk about it. I wanted to do a video for Rumble, but I would just keep going on and on and on. It's like I've waited too long to say things. Sugar is a drug. No, it's not. It's addictive, but it doesn't mean it's a drug. Got to be careful. Sugar is sugar. It's an additive. It's a preservative. It's a sweetener, but it's not a drug. When I say drugs, I mean pharmaceutically or processed Okay, drugs, pharmaceutical industry came from, geez, should I even be talking about this? Let me think about that for a second. The pharmaceutical industry patented the word medicine. Why? So they could claim it. So now, original medicine, like marijuana, and isn't it funny how everybody's supposed to have these beautiful green lawns and weeds are the enemy? They're not. Lawns are useless, weeds are medicine. And there is a plant remedy for almost every natural disease on the planet. We just haven't found them all yet. Now, the pharmaceutical industry capitalized on herbal medicine by making cheaper, easy to mass produce artificial copies of what herbal medicine did. I've had this conversation before because people I can't have a lot. There's a lot of pharmaceuticals I can't have. I can't have any opiate painkillers. I can't have Valium, Librium. I can't have Tramadol. I can't have any anti-inflammatories. None of those things. Okay. And people have said, "Oh well, you should try willow bark tea for your pain." I said I can't have willow bark tea. Well, it's natural, yeah, but it's also the first form of aspirin. Aspirin being an anti-inflammatory, I can't have it, right? Laura, don't wear any bra. Okay, wait a second. What am I missing? I'm kind of thinking it's an overgrowth of yeast on my skin. I'm so trying an antifungal creams and sprays, but those take a week hanging in there, literally. Okay, I'm missing something here. Nothing helps. Cornstarch. Except one thing, and I'm trying it tomorrow. No bra and have to work, and I don't care. Wearing 100% cotton cami and a loose t-shirt and flannel. Okay. I think I'm allergic to my bras. I have such a horrendous rash, itchy and irritated. Have you thought of changing your laundry soap? Or do you use fabric softener? Please tell me you don't use Tide. Laundry soap is one of the most common skin reaction allergens that's out there. I love all Bev's channels and watch all of them, but I'm always lurking. But here, thanks for your prayers. No problem, honey. Try a baking soda bath. Okay, like try okay, here's something you can do. You can make a compress, hammer some not sweetened or anything like that, unprocessed oatmeal. Hammer the crap out of it till it's in a powder. Wrap it in gauze, soak it in warm water, wring it out enough so that it's not dripping, and put it on the rash. Oatmeal and baking soda together would be even better. I bought the Tide Hydro Clean, broke out in hives. Right? So, nipple chafing. Wash with witch hazel. Baking soda, vinegar, all of it. Oh, Laura, I'm so sorry, honey. Do you have a place where you can sunbathe nude? Because laying out and lifting your breasts and letting the sun at your rash is also another good idea. Really? To sunlight soap? See, Sunlight and Ivory was the only thing my mother could use on me. She used Tide once when I was a baby. I broke out all over the place. And there's things I can't use Raid or bug sprays or anything. I remember when we first lived in Apsley and the mosquitoes were getting in because everything wasn't completely closed, but we had bedroom doors and walls and stuff. But Dad would go down the hallway in the night and spray Raid all the way down the hallway because we had like a shotgun kind of Viceroy home. And I had a bad asthma attack so bad that whenever he did that, it was to get rid of the mosquitoes. he would knock on my door and hand me a towel and say, put this under your door, I'm going to spray. So from Arm & Hammer laundry detergent. Really? Oh my goodness, Laura. Then you're having a bad reaction to something, and my money's probably on laundry soap. Now, it may be a laundry soap. Try changing your laundry soap. Try going to like Ivory Snow or something. They still make Ivory Snow. There's no home remedy or medication I haven't tried. Seriously, powerful antihistamine shots even. Nothing works. Then it sounds like an internal reaction to something. Have you changed anything in your diet? Have you started any new medications? All over the house, it was a wonder I'm not dead from that bug spray. Well, I remember when I was first pregnant with Briar, we found earwigs in our apartment because we were in a basement apartment, and I freaked out and I sprayed bug spray, but that wasn't Raid, but I still had an attack. So when I was a baby, I had rashes all over my body, and my grandma took cornstarch, put it in a cast iron skillet, heated it up, kind of browned it like I put that as a poultice all over me. You know what? They used to do that back in the 1800s before like baby powder and all that stuff. They would scorch flour in the oven, because if you put flour on you raw and you sweat, it turns into glue. But if you scorch it in the oven, it makes like a powder you can dust yourself with. So cornstarch, I never used baby powder on my kids. Always cornstarch. Ivory soap, really? Stress can cause other outbreaks too. You're allergic to summers and bras. Well, come on out here. You can run buck naked and jump in the pool whenever you feel like it. When Howie's not home. Let's pull a card. I'm going to pull a card. I'm just going to pull a card from The Universe Has Your Back. Because, yeah, okay. Can't stand ivory soap. Well, I haven't bought bar soap in years. If you go back far enough in my videos where I've got, I've put soap in cupcake things with papers, cupcake papers, I still got some of them. But I was getting low. That's why I made the cedar soap. I tried every homemade itch cream you came. Nothing worked for 2 weeks. Wow. For sensitive skin. Elaine Marie. Wow, isn't that funny? Allergic to ivory. It's probably you know what? Things have changed too. You got to remember, the stuff we relied on when we were younger, or our parents relied on, have probably changed in ingredients and all kinds of stuff. Pear soap. I love pear soap. Okay, here's a card. There is nothing sexier than authentic truth. I don't know who needs to hear this. Maybe it is Elaine Marie. I had this long conversation with my sister today. And we had this long talk. And I said, I'm really sad today. And she said, why are you sad? I said, because being honest is a lonely business. But I've just been informed that authenticity is very sexy. So I'm just going to say, okay. But I don't know who needs to hear this. Somebody out there is kind of not lying, but relying on an illusion to make them feel sexy or attractive. I'm not talking about makeup and wigs and all that stuff. Maybe I am. But somebody out there is afraid to be their authentic self because they're afraid nobody will like them or love them. Or there's particularly somebody that won't love you. Wrong. If you show your authentic self to this person or these people and they don't love you for it, then they're the wrong people to be in your tribe. Do you understand? Too many chemicals, absolutely. Hey, Jackie. Exactly. Wendy's probably in bed, or I don't know. I sent her the link, but you know, my sister is also an insomniac. The only thing that keeps me sane with my with my insomnia is the fact that I still go to bed. Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I'm sweating and I'm itching. Just talking about all this stuff. I go to bed before a certain time every night. Whether I sleep or not is beside the point. I have to keep in the routine of being in bed before 11 o'clock every night, because if I don't, then it's taken me years to be able to get 5 hours sleep in a shot. But it's about routine. And it's really hard to be in routine when you live alone, right? Like my sister does. So, hey, Rosie. Hey, FYI. I hope she's doing better today, too. My bra is the illusion, Bev, and it's ditched. My authentic self knows it isn't good for me right now. Bye, bad for me bra. Good for you. Absolutely praying for strength for all of us. Because you know what? Sorry. I have to tuck things. You know why? Because I can turn this fan down now. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world. And there's a lot of us who know that this is not the natural order of things. Whether it's politics, religion, nature, or money. So these are not topics that I can talk about, having had my hand so recently slapped by YouTube. But the truth of the matter is, in my opinion, there is no climate crisis, there's a pollution crisis. And if you look at it that way, then smart cars aren't, or electric cars aren't that smart. Chemtrails and blocking the sun, not a good idea. You know what I mean? None of these things, but we call it a climate crisis, and we blame global warming and climate change. The climate has always been changing. It's always going to change. It's a living thing, and it goes through its own cycles and seasons. The planet does. The universe does. So if you look at the elements, okay, Linda, shh, honey, relax, take a deep breath. I'm doing this properly. There are 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And every single one of those things needs what? The sun. The sun is the pulsing heart of our galaxy. You start blocking it, especially with something like, I don't know, sprayed in the air to reflect the sun back out of the big hole in the ozone layer that everybody stopped talking about 20 years ago. Right? Yeah, we do. I used to have Wickaway bars to help stop sores. I have to use an antifungal cream from the doctor if it starts. Oh, wow. Really, Jackie? So if you take away one of our elements, or if people lose access to an element, it's like kicking out a leg from a table. You got a big square table with 4 legs at the corners. You take away one of our elements or mess with one of our elements, you're kicking out the leg, and the table is no longer stable. It's not a stable table anymore. You understand? I know she just loves me. I know she loves me. Yes, Rosie, in a minute. So our air quality is a problem right now. Everything's a problem right now. And if you look at the difference between a climate crisis and a pollution crisis, things become a little more clear. Climate is not necessarily in crisis. If it is, it's from pollution. So building electric cars that cause the mining for the battery alone causes 50 to 60% more pollution than the car itself negates. And if that battery catches on fire, right? The last news article I saw, that they had to push it into they had to dig out a hole, push the car into it, and use 14,000 liters, 16,000 liters of water, and 4 hours it took the firemen to put that out. And half the car was completely disintegrated. Now, that pollution caused by that one battery fire is more pollution than my entire 4x4 Dodge Ram truck uses in it, puts out in a year. So, and electric cars have to plug into the grid, don't they? So the solutions that are being forced down our throat in the name of climate crisis, but if we call it a pollution crisis, then those batteries don't make much sense, do they? If we call it a pollution crisis, selling our barges and barges of rejected recycling to third world countries is not a good idea, is it? Where do you think all the garbage in the ocean's coming from? Okay? So carbon tax makes no sense. All it does is drive the prices up on gasoline, and it drives regular people into the ground because everything is affected by the cost of gas. Everything. So you got companies that are slapped with the carbon tax, and all they do is treat it like a fine, and they pay it, but they don't change the issue that's causing it. But we're the ones, everyday people, who are under the yoke of all of these decisions that are being made without our consent. I'm sorry, but I didn't consent. Okay, and this is something else. Does anybody remember me talking about Agenda 21 like 10 years ago? Many others must too at this a most special place as many other areas in the world. Let me put it to you this way. People are being evacuated. And insurance companies are trying to find excuses not to pay these people for their lost property. What happens if they can't get their insurance to pay for rebuilding? Why? Maybe they don't, maybe the powers that be don't want people rebuilding. Maybe Maui's going to become one big 15-minute city. I don't know. the government has gotten too big. It's gotten too big. Right, exactly, Elaine. So if we address pollution, see, this is where I come back and say words have power. There is a problem with arsenic in Maui's water, not sure about the accuracy. Now it's Agenda 30. Well, Agenda 21 was all about, it was the United Nations putting an agenda out that they wanted the world to be in a more sustainable, environmentally sustainable practice, the world, by 2021. Anybody want to check the date? It's now 2023. And people have been stirred up into such realms of fear and terror and confusion that they're grasping at anything. And the truth is, the government's, okay, you ready for this? The government does not have your best interest at heart. Pharmaceutical industries are not creating cures. The World Economic Forum is not for anybody other than the elites. And climate change has always been a natural thing. However, a lot of it has been accelerated by poor choices made by, I mean, when was the last time a politician ever asked you if you wanted to give up your hunting weapons, your hunting gear? When was the last time a politician actually asked me, did I think it was okay to give up my wood stove or gas? Or none of these things have been run by the common people. Hell, Prime Minister Trudeau is in because he's got a 32.6% vote in the last election, but he's being propped up by the NDP party. So it's a government that nobody wanted, but it's still in power. How does that make sense? Hey, Corey. Yes, Angie Mack, I agree. So I have to be really careful. I can't say that cancer is a billions of dollars a year business. Do you remember when we were kids? Do you remember? I never got my first antibiotic until I was 11 years old. Briar got his when he was 11 days old. We keep looking to the past. For answers to the future. We do, because we know, right? We know the past has the answers. And it's not electric cars. And it's not shoving everybody into cities so that they don't have to drive. Those things are detriment. Those things are only convenient for the powers that be that want to control the populace. Globalism is not necessarily a good idea. Before a country should support other countries, now there is support, and then there's financial support for the wrong reasons. Okay? Somebody has a crisis in another country, of course we're going to help. But when wars start popping up from a half a world away and the only news we're getting is from mainstream media, I don't trust that stuff. Absolutely not. Right? we need to go back to the sun being the center of our galaxy. And it's where we get our energy. And it's where life comes from. The earth, the air, the water. The earth, the air, the water, and the sun, or fire. Okay? Okay, thank you, Celeste. You know why they got rid of glass bottles? I'll tell you why they got rid of glass bottles, because my cousin's husband used to work for Coca-Cola as a truck driver, as a delivery man for years and years and years and years and years. And glass bottles were heavy, especially when they're full of liquid. And those bottles had to be good and thick so that they would survive transport. Well, then what happened? They started putting everything in plastic bottles. But then all of a sudden, all these trucks they now have built-in forklifts so that these guys don't have to lift it anymore. But they're still using plastic. And when was the last time you saw beer in a plastic bottle? But it's okay to give us everything else in plastic? Hey, Angie. Exactly, Linda. So, my milk comes in plastic bags, right? Everything carrots come in plastic bags. Cheese comes in plastic wrap. Meat you buy either is wrapped in plastic or on a styrofoam tray covered in plastic, right? Pop bottles, soap bottles, laundry detergent bottles, fabric softener. But they won't give you a bag to take it home in. Hey, Cindy. Well, the thing is when I was a kid, I don't ever remember having anything stronger than an aspirin. And even then, I had to have a fever to have it, right? When I got a tickle in my throat, my mom gave me a spoon of creamed honey to suck on. Let that melt on your tongue and trickle down your throat, she said. It worked. Honey's a huge curative, okay? But I'm not a medical professional, so don't take my word for it. Do your own research. My butter, everybody laughs at my milk coming in bags. Well, those bags are reusable. But the truth is, I prefer my milk to come in glass. I prefer my milk to come raw in glass. All right? So many changes have happened in the last 150 years that it boggles the mind. You could fill this room with paperwork. But they do it in such a way so that you don't think anything's changing. Things come wrapped and then wrapped again and then wrapped with plastic bubble wrapping. Yeah. Right? Yes! Yes, I did. And you know what's weird about this? Is that ooh. Now you got me playing with it. What was weird was this is a very simple drawer. And it's got a checkbook and mail and odds and ends and things like that. But this drawer is only about 12 by 16. And it's only about 3 to 4 inches deep. And when I shut this off before I go to bed, I go snap and I go to bed. I put it right back in the drawer, or at the very least, right beside my cup. Now, I went through that drawer 5 times looking for that remote. And then when I was doing Little House Live, I think it was the last Little House Live for By the Shores of Silver Creek, I said, I've been through this drawer. And it was right there. I have gremlins. Well, thank you. I like this bow. It's made out of, what do you call this stuff, folks? Toll? And they folded it in such a way it has little beads in it and little things. I put on my wish list. Like, people asked me to put up a wish list for, yes, I did find it. It was in my drawer. It was right there. You have to pay a $2 deposit on it. Well, but you get that back when you take the milk jug back. It's the way it used to be. You have the same cloth hanging up as your curtain. Oh, that's nice. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we've been paddling along, going with the flow for so long. We have not been paying attention or have not been told about the millions and millions of changes that have been happening in the products we buy, the products we eat, the products we wash with, the products we put in our cars, the products we put in our pools. All of these things have been subtly changed over time. You know, Tide just didn't one day say, "Ooh, Tide allergy free," because guess what? They knew that their soap was a problem for a lot of people, right? Now in the States, in order to get raw milk, you have to claim that you're feeding it to your dogs or animals. Okay. Well, kids and younger adults, yeah, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing, okay? Look at the diseases that are coming out. You know, I was affected by lead. I'm going to tell you that. And my brother and I, there's 5 of us kids, and my brother and I are the 2 youngest. The brother next up from me, and we're both pretty much crippled. Like someone said, I saw an older video today. I was making turkey and stuffing meatloaf. And I said, I'm using my mixer today because I'm in a fibro flare. And someone went, fibro flare, LOL. And I thought, is there something funny about that? Right? $10 a gallon. I miss my goats. I miss Busy. She gave me 3/4 of a gallon of milk a day. And she was still feeding her own babies. You know? Yeah, raw milk's supposed to, yeah, it's spelt tull, but I think it's pronounced toll. Isn't it? Or is it pronounced tull? Raw milk is not dangerous. Not when you bring it in the house and you filter it. See, I had a process. I would milk my goat in a clean pan. I would take out a warm washcloth and I would wash her udder and her teats. And then I would take my clean bucket and I would milk her into it. And I would take the milk in the house and I would put it through, the plastic coffee filters. I would stack 3 of those and I would put it through those filters into a funnel, into a glass bottle. And then I'd put a lid on the bottle and I would put it in ice cold water with ice packs around it, gel packs around it, to rapid chill it. Putting warm milk into the fridge is not a good idea. Just saying. But it's been filtered and rapid chilled. And I never had a problem. I could drink that straight out of a glass. And I can't do that with any milk. So, tool. Okay, thank you. Hi, Michelle. So, I could drink raw milk. I've drank raw cow's milk. It's not a problem for me, right? But do you know what pasteurization does? Pasteurization, do your research, do your own research. Don't ask me where I get my information because I've been doing this for years and you're just going to have to find it yourself, okay? But pasteurizing the milk means heating it up to the point where it kills bacteria, but it also kills the living enzyme in the milk that allows you to digest it. Drinking milk is not good for you. Like drinking pasteurized milk is not good for you. You can't. Your body doesn't break it down properly, and you don't get the calcium in your bones from it. You get it on your bones from it. There's subtle changes. Crisco, you got a hinge that squeak, Crisco. Power go out and you got no light. Put a wick in that, Crisco. You got a candle. It not just lard. I never had a problem with goat's milk. Never had a problem with my goat's milk. Now, when we would go and visit Arizona, I would buy goat's milk from Sprouts, the store Sprouts, but it had a goaty flavor to it. So the farm it came from wasn't necessarily keeping the bucks away from the does. You know what I mean? It wishes it was lard. That's right. Right? But, I've read that book 3 times. And I wish I would be allowed to read it. But it's not on the public domain. I wish I could read it because I would probably have a hard time with all of the different people in it, doing, trying to get a feel. But Minnie, I would have no problem getting a feel of. Now, why you want me to hand wash them before they go into the washing machine? Fired. We just had a Lamar on Mount Rainier. Wow, landslide, Washington State. Oh my God. I couldn't drink formula or cow's milk as a baby, only goat's milk. Oh, I didn't have goat's milk. I didn't like milk as a baby, right? Hey, Mom. Just Mom. How's it going? Okay, take care, Candy. Mwah. Rebel Mom. Yeah, goatee milk, the bucks are too close. Absolutely. Absolutely, because that's it. But see, when we had Busy, we didn't have a buck anymore after that. Right? And she gave me Clover and Blossom. I don't want to talk about it. I miss my animals. Hey, BlackRock. I read the book Thief this year. Much too late to the party, but what a beautiful read. Really? Trish, I'm well, getting myself ready for the farm market as I will be a vendor. So far, I have quadruple batch of peanut butter cookie dough ready to be baked off. I couldn't do that at a farmer's thing. I'd have to have a special license. It's different here in Quebec. I would love nothing more than to take orders for shortbread and snowball cookies and do a bunch of baking and sell them. But because I have a dog in my house and I don't have a certification for being able to work and produce, my kitchen is not certified. And all the courses to get your certification are in French. Right out of the cow, absolutely. Got to shake it up to get that cream mixed. Oh, you remember the babies? Clover and Blossom. They both died. Gracie's never, are you kidding? Gracie's never in my kitchen. Yeah, that's a joke, right, Linda? That's a joke, right? Anybody who watches my cooking videos will see every once in a while, you'll see her nose or you'll see her walk by. When I'm cooking, she's hovering. We can do it for the small markets without being, okay, I'm glad. But you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of doing a giveaway this year. Because I'm thinking I could do treat boxes. And I should have no problem with them crossing the border. Because you just put in, cookies and jam. Right? or bonbons, like candy, right? Hey, Desert Lady. Hi. Hi, Willows. Yeah, she's always in the background. Does anybody remember seeing her snout covered in powdered sugar when I was making snowballs? Well, no, you can't vacuum seal them. You can't vacuum seal them because they would they would crumble, right? But I mean, think about it. A couple of tea bags, a hot chocolate, little jar of jam, some snowballs, and some shortbread. Merry Christmas from Mrs. V. I wonder if that would survive the trip by post. Well, I mean, right? But I'm wondering, I wouldn't do it if I couldn't offer it to my United States friends as well, right? And I know that my sister sent me candies and cookies and stuff from Britain. So, making me hungry. Is that a bid, Tina Elliott? I asked you before about getting a hold of you, but I don't know your channel name. Oh, Willow Garden. Okay. Vacuum seal on the wet cycle for cookies. Really? Well, I got to tell you, my vacuum sealer is a piece of crap. So, but I'm sure I could try it. I'm sure I could try it. Anyway, would you like me to make some pancakes? Oh, we had pancakes for supper tonight. Tweedle-at, tweedle-at, tweedle-a-dee. One of Bubba's new favorite songs. I'm as happy as can be. Hubba, hubba, pudding pie. You've got something that money can't buy. Tweedle-at, tweedle-at, tweedle-a-dee. Okay, I'm going to pull a card for the group. So if this resonates with you, well, the state of Hawaii is not going to allow developers to move in and build. But the state's going to take control. 15 minutes at least. Landlord told me the alloidial title has gone through. Really? Where you live, Trish? Always puts a smile on my face. Mm-hmm. Ooh, ooh. Whoa, okay. Don't know who needs to hear this, but I got two cards. Giraffe. The singer, the humpback whale. Sing healing songs for the world. Your inner navigation always guides you. Nothing can stop you or keep you from your goal. Align with your purpose and the power in your soul. The singer. That was Giraffe. Visionary. Rise above earthly matters. Glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path. Stand tall in your self-worth. And love with a big heart. I don't know about you guys, but I needed to hear both of those. If you could do a card for me, I would be so blessed. Okay. I think I owe Rosie a card too. Okay, this is for Tina. No, Desert Lady. Desert. Whoa! Did you see the cards fly out? And there's 2 of them, 3 of them. And there is one upside down. Okay, so Desert Lady, your first card is Rest and Rejuvenation. Your second card is Envy. And your third card is the upside down Strategy. Now, what I'm getting from this, and I'm hearing a lot of voices clamoring for these cards. So there's more than one person in this group this is going to resonate with. Rest and Rejuvenation. Do I have to explain that? So many of us are exhausted by the crap that's going on in our world and how it's affecting our relationships with people, with our governments, our doctors. It's affecting our trust. And we're exhausted. We need to take a step back, ground and center, rest and rejuvenate. Because we've been being drained by a lot of people out there. We have been being drained by emotional and psychological vampires. And their envy, okay? Their envy is poison. And the third card is the upside down Strategy card. And that's because we've been so busy deflecting sugar honey iced tea. We've been so busy deflecting and having news flash after news flash of absolute things that are supposed to terrify us, that we haven't been able to sit down, rest and rejuvenate, figure out a strategy to keep those that are envious of our contentment. We have to be able to have a strategy to keep this crap at bay. Am I making any sense? Okay? So, the strategy to keep the negativity, got this backwards. The strategy to keep the negative and envious entities out of our personal space is rest and rejuvenate and come back with love. Love so strong that it pulsates from you. God-given love. If you want to say source or creator or God, whatever you use, thank you, Mom, whatever you use to connect to your faith, whatever faith you use to connect to your creator, this is paramount. You need to have a strategy. And the strategy is love. Love yourself enough not to accept unacceptable behavior. Love yourself enough that honesty is a lonely business. It can be a very lonely business because it alienates a lot of people. I've alienated a lot of people in my life because of my honesty. Because my honesty challenges a lot of people's delusion. Okay? And when I say delusion, it's the delusion that your government has your best interests at heart. The delusion is pharmaceutical industries have your health at heart. okay? That just because you love someone, it does not mean they have to love you back or even know how. So the strategy is ground center, find that connection with the Creator, let Him fill you with love and light, because God is all good all the time. Anything else is from the dark side. You see, when we have pure light and pure dark, and I'm going to use the words white and black, and not in a racial way, but there is white light of the soul, of that connection with the Creator. And then there's the dark side of the moon. You know what I'm saying? And what's in between? 50 shades of gray. And what do I mean by that? I mean, there is only one white or one pure light. The rest is light that's been muddied. It just depends on how muddied it is before it becomes black or dark, completely dark. Do you understand? So narrow is the path to our salvation, and broad is broad and paved with gold is the road to destruction, right? So we just need to have faith. I don't care if you have faith in a light bulb, as long as you have something that connects you to the Creator of your understanding. Because once you have that connection and you nurture that connection, everything else is going to fall by the wayside. There's going to be family and friends and people that just walk away. But if they're walking away because you are honest and true to yourself and the love between you and your Creator, then they should never have been there in the first place. Or at least they were in your life long enough to teach you that they're the ones that walked away. It's not because you're unworthy. It's because they can't feel worthy of you. So, good night, everybody. Or good night, Elaine. So I just want to say, I'm not a religious fanatic. I do not subscribe to any one religion. I have a conscious contact with the God of my understanding, whom I call Source, or God out of habit. And Source is neither male nor female. Source is the original power, the original energy, the original source of where we all got our souls and our intelligence and our free will. Okay? And we're just a reflection. But because we were given free will, a lot of bad choices are made. Like somebody said, well, how can you say that this poor, infant child has cancer, that's a sin? Or like, because I know people who think that if you never sinned, you'd never get sick. But you see, that's okay if we were born yesterday on a pure, clean planet. And we got to start over in a new dawn every day. But we've had thousands and hundreds of thousands of years to figure out how to cheat the system, how to say that the Creator doesn't exist, right? So that you can feel better about your choices, right? People can deny it all they want. I'm not here to hammer into them that God is all good all the time. God has our welfare at heart. God has our health at heart. The Creator has all of our everything about us to heart. We just have to ask for it. And if the answer is no, then isn't that one of the great mysteries? If the answer is no, it's because the Creator knows you are already, there is a journey in place for you that you chose before you were born. And God won't interfere with that. It's called free will, right? So a lot of people have made a lot of bad choices, and look where we are today. Sick, overweight, confused, and this close to being controlled by the people we elected to protect us. Choices, not just yours and mine, but all the choices in our bloodline that came before us. It's not getting any better, is it? Why? Because we have to choose to go back to that way of understanding our place in the ecosystem. We do not rule over the ecosystem. We are a part of the ecosystem. And too long, our planet has been used like a resource when it's not. It's a living thing. It's a living thing. What a terrible thing to lose. Be kind. Be loving. Know your personal space and how to protect it. Okay? It's just a matter of filtering any responses through love. I could have family, if there was recently, I would have had a problem if there's certain family members came to my front door. I would probably ask them to leave. Today, I wouldn't. Why? Because that wouldn't be the most loving thing to do. Yes, but if they come in my house, it doesn't mean I'm going to let them treat me the way they treated me in the past. I woke up in a new day, and I know what I'm worth. And if people don't see that, then that's okay, right? We are to be the stewards of the creation that God has entrusted us with, and oh man, have we screwed up. It's not too late. You see, this is going to turn around for those, this is going to turn around. There is going to come a moment where the wheat is separated from the chaff, and the chaff will be blown away on the fiery winds, and the wheat will be left behind to grow and to nourish. Do you understand? So I think, I think people think that when it is time to wipe the slate clean and start over for the world, that people think that we are actually going to see it happen. We might see it happen. We might perish. But where we go from there, is, some people may call it the rapture. Some people call it the ascension. Some people call it the great divide. But that narrow path we talked about will have lush wheat growing that we will be able to run our hands through as we go along. Sure, in the conviction that God has us at heart. But he can't do it unless we ask him to. Faith is a very strong word. It is. I won't use the word religion, because I think religion puts things in a box. It puts your faith in a box. It divide. And what do boxes do? They have walls that divide. So if you got all these religions, they're all in boxes, and they're all bumping up against each other saying, I'm right, you're right, I'm right, you're wrong. Well, then that's what, as far as I'm concerned, that's what religion does. Faith, well, faith is a whole other ballgame. Faith is having trust in a power greater than yourself to keep you sane, to help you walk through the scorched earth that's happening right now, to walk you through the accusations of conspiracy theorist, or you're just stupid, or you're anti-science. You see, we got called all those things. And they were wrong. They were wrong. So faith is having the conviction that you know what is best for you in a loving way. And I'm not talking in a material way, right? If there are people in your life that are constantly calling you stupid or avoiding you because you see through a lot of crap that they can't see through because they were so overwhelmed they caved, right? There's going to be people, it's not going to be pleasant. Honesty and living in rigorous honesty takes some chutzpah. You know what I mean? It's not for the faint of heart. Kind of like marriage. It's a commitment, knowing that love is the answer. And if people can't see that, they're going to start walking away from you. But you need to keep rigorously honest with yourself and your higher power. Because that's the only way we survive this and have a chance to move on from this. Do you understand? Religion is a crutch, a legalistic list of do's and don'ts. Yeah. Right? Bible's been tampered with. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good book. It's a great book. I mean, hell, the 10 Commandments alone, right? And the message that Christ gave us, that he was here on the planet, God gave him to us to lead us back to the Father with love. I'm firmly convinced in my heart that he never wanted to be the basis of a religion. He just wanted to bring people back to the Father. That all of the things that people thought had happened through God's rage were not from God's rage. It was from choices. Choices that entire nations made on how to live and how to judge people and all of those things. Right? When he said, or if he said, nobody gets to the Father except through me, he meant through his teachings. I don't think he ever wanted to be held up as a God. Right? I mean, I've met the dude. And all he did was love me and flood me with his love. And I still got the message wrong. It took me 30 years to figure it out. So you can subscribe to religion if that's what gives you comfort. I'm not bad-mouthing religion for people who use it and need it, because it gives them comfort and gives them something to cling to. Those aren't the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who use it for financial gain. Use it for power. Okay? Everybody is an individual, even identical twins. We are all individuals. And how we connect with the source of life itself, the source of knowledge, the source of love, the source of intelligence. How you connect with the source of your faith is your business. And nowhere can it be stamped out as a unifit or a one-size-fits-all for people. It just doesn't work that way. But it doesn't matter as long as how you get to your comfort zone with the source of your faith is your own business. Right? Just like it's my own business. So my opinions saying, that the Bible's a good book to be learned from, that it's been tampered with, isn't meant to upset anybody. Me saying that I don't think Jesus Christ wanted to be held up as a God may offend some people, but I'm not there to offend. I'm just sharing. That's it, right? We all are individuals, and we have to have, when it comes right down to it, when you wake up in the morning, there's only you and your higher power. There's nobody else there helping you put your underwear on or helping you straighten your back after a day in the garden. Nobody else there but you and God. So if he's always there, if the source or the creator is always in us, is always a part of us, no matter where we go, you cannot run. Right? Then who's the first person you should be thanking for your life every single day? Thank you, God, for getting me through another day. Thank you, God, for today's picking of beans. Right? Because the creator is the one who fuels me. Yes, my husband helps a lot. My husband helps a lot. But without them, I'd be in a home somewhere or in a little apartment that I could manage. Right? So, whatever it is, please know that my prayers go out to you all every single night. That I ask God to pour his love down on you like honey on a wound. Know that you are loved. And I don't have to see you to love you because I see you here. Love will always be the answer. Thank you, Christ. Love is the answer. We are all capable of healing ourselves from within. Thank you, Christ, for teaching us that. Okay? This is Mrs. Volfie from Life with the Volfies saying, I don't know where my brain went tonight, and I don't remember half of the stuff we've talked about. But I do know this. Know you are loved because my heart sees you. And God fills me with so much love every single day that I have to share it or I would explode. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you again soon. Mwah! I love you.